Well, perhaps we could have a conversation about maybe the most important thing we could have a conversation about: ending violence on planet Earth. By the way, I've got a little flower over my shoulder here that I grew. It's a, it's a, it's a flower, and it's kind of pretty, isn't it? At any rate, the conversation has to do with borning. Is there such a word as borning? Having a new consciousness born. The consciousness that brought us to where we are today cannot possibly solve the problems that it caused, because knowledge invented thought, including belief, is what brought us here, and any solution that knowledge, thought, and belief comes up with will only greaten, make worse the solution. In other words, it won't solve it. Because it's the entire consciousness that is violent. The only parts of it that are non-violent are the non-violent parts. And guess what is included in the non-violent part? Violence is included in it. I'm speaking of a consciousness that needs to be created that is void of the violence that is the core of today's world. And here's what it actually means. It actually means that everything that you do is negative. It's wrong. It will not work. And you are the reason it won't work, because you throw your block or shoot yourself in the foot. It's kind of like a marathon runner gets up in the morning to run the marathon, shoots himself in the foot, and then goes out to run the marathon, and then blames the world for why they lost the marathon. But the truth is, it is the consciousness. This is a hugely difficult conversation to have, given what I'm saying is everything you do, all of you, is wrong. Except that there's really no such thing as right and wrong. It means no matter what it is that you do, in a consciousness of violence, it will end in violence, because violence is the core of the consciousness that you accepted sometime after your birth. So the answer is simple. It is for you to consider the truth, which is you're violent. And the strange thing about this conversation that we're having with these thousands of people in that plant back there that I know all about, it's a violet. It's an African violet. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a violet. Yeah. The problem with it is, no matter what it is that you do, you will be wrong. It will not work out. Kind of like saying, Donald Trump and Joe Biden are the same. In essence, that's true, even though Trump is a con man, liar, thief, and cheat, and Joe Biden has the consideration about those around him. In essence, really, they're both promoting the same thing, just as we are when we have some of us promoting no wars and other people promoting wars. The end result is wars. So what I'm saying here is this. We need to create a new consciousness. And here I'm going to give you a quick possibility for you to consider. And that is, there's no way to do it. You can't know a way to do it. There is no way to do it. Truth has no way. It has no past. It has no path. It has no history. It only has the truth. And the truth is in the present, always and ever flowing. So now that I have said that there's no way to do it, I'm going to show you a manner in which you can create it. I didn't say do it, I said create it. There's a tiny distinction there. What you do to create it is you create a new you. You don't do that from sorrow, sadness. You don't do that from any space of knowing or knowledge, or thought, or any belief. You simply do it from I create a new, insert your own name, and watch what happens. If you know what's going to happen, that's not new, is it? That's already known. So you can only create that which is not. You get it? You can't create. If you bring forth something that already is, that's invention. To bring forth something that is not is creation. And there's something that has not been on planet Earth, and that's peace. That's to be free. That's not been on planet Earth. Therefore, it's new. You know, new as in never having been before. So my query is this. Could you perhaps consider creating a new you? Now here's the thing about it. When you live in your egotistically filled world, then everything is always about you, and you are always right about everything. Therefore, you live in your suffering, you live in your misery, you live in your fighting, you live in your argument, you live in your have to be right, you live in all of those idiotic places called ego. Ego. So the manner in which you could eliminate the ego in one fell swoop is to create a new you. There is a little caveat included, which is you would need to see your own stupidity, your own failure as a mother, as a father, as a husband, as a business, all of those. And by the way, if you say, wait a minute, I'm a millionaire or a multimillionaire and I've only been married to one woman and therefore I'm a success. That's the greatest form of failure there is. Because if you are a success in an insane world, on an insane planet, that is a higher level of insanity, not less, which means that the dropouts and the thieves and the liars and those people might be even closer to the possibility for creating a new you, a new person, and a new world. That's not really true because they are a drain on. So they're the same. The addicts and the drug addict, alcoholics, the bank robbers. They're the same as the what's that guy's name? Joe Gibbs? No, not Joe. Anyway, the guy that has Microsoft. All those people, whoever those people are. Can't remember their names. Zuckerberg's one, but that's a Facebook guy. He's kind of a new one, isn't he? Bill Gates, there's another one. So in essence, Bill Gates, and who's that Amazon guy? Anyway, those 2, 3 or 4, how many ever you want to put in there, are the same as the dropout drug addict who can't get up off the floor unless it's to get some more drugs. They're really the same because they are the manifestation of a world of insanity, a world that can have people who have trillions of dollars, billions of dollars. They could bail out the whole world themselves almost. And then those who have demeaned themselves so greatly that they can't get up off of the floor. They're both in the same world, and yet one is glorified and one is denigrated, when in essence they need to be brought together. In a perfect world, the Zuckerbergs and the, not Bird, is it? Zuckerberg, whatever it is, the Gates and all of those people would be brought together with the drug addicts, the people, the homeless. And then there could be a conversation take place, and there could be an exchange of what it is that did this and what it is that did that. Then we could begin to have a world that might have a possibility. But right now we have the wealthy that piddles out a few bucks, and the thieves and the addicts are at the bottom grabbing the low-hanging fruit. And what we end up with is a world of insanity. So the difficult part about this conversation is what it takes in order to what's the word? Save? No. Bring forth a world void of violence is creation. And creation has no history. It has no before. It has only the possibility for bringing forth from nothing, no thing. So can you, will you, could you, and would you, are there enough requests there, create a new you? Or are you just going to stay getting mad at people, at getting jealous, grabbing all the money you can grab? We're grabbing those other things that Donald Trump likes to. What are those things Donald Trump likes to grab? I can't remember. I'll think of it here in a minute. But he does whatever he wants to do. Something like that. So, can you completely, 100%, give up who you are? Because who you are has been invented by your own ego. You invented yourself to be the violent, cruel Christian or Muslim or what are those other idiotic things? Buddhist or I think there's some more. 7-day. Anyway, all of the beliefs on our planet. Those are the most damaging, idiotic things that we have. Belief is a function of knowledge and thought, and it will always bury us. Bury us in violence, repetition, and wars. So, are you, could you, would you be able to simply create a new you? And it really takes nothing other than to say, I create a new you, whatever your name is, George, Jim, Mary, Peter, Paul, Mary. A perfect experience of growing dandelions, geraniums like I've done back there. Now you know how good a gardener I am, to each of you. Oops. What the hell happened here?